Welcome back! My name is Baller Scuba. This is Video Games Over Time. We are still in 1981. And today, we're going to talk about Centipede. The story of Centipede takes us back to Atari. We have, of course, been talking about Atari almost since the beginning of Video Games Over Time. For this game, Atari turned to Ed Logg. Ed Logg had created Super Breakout as well as Asteroids for Atari, which we talked about in previous videos. Ed Logg would act as supervisor for the development of Centipede. Ed Logg assigned Donna Bailey to work on the game. Donna Bailey joined Atari in 1980 in the coin-op division, where she was the only woman. After being assigned to Centipede's 4-person team, Donna Bailey became the software developer and software engineer for the game. Bailey intentionally designed Centipede to appeal to a broad audience. Donna Bailey in particular loved the pastel colors when they accidentally appeared while a technician was making adjustments, and the colors became a major part of the game. Those colors, combined with the trackball controls, became a major part of the appeal that the game had to both men and women. Centipede is a fixed shooter, in which the player controls a small fighter at the bottom of the screen, known as the Bug Blaster. The enemy is represented by a segmented centipede that advances from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen through a field of mushrooms. The player can then shoot the segments of the centipede. When shot, the segments then become a mushroom, and the rest of the centipede continues traveling toward the bottom of the screen. If a middle segment is shot, the centipede will then split into 2 different centipedes, each with their own head. If the centipede's head is shot, the next segment becomes the centipede's head. Once all segments are destroyed, the player has won and moves on to the next level. The player can also encounter fleas, spiders, and scorpions while playing. The mushrooms on the field can be destroyed, but that will require 4 shots. Because the mushrooms will change the direction of the enemies, selectively creating and destroying mushrooms is vital to any strategy for playing the game. There are also poisonous mushrooms that will cause the enemies to come straight down to the bottom of the screen. Centipede's official release date is one that is debated. While the copyright date of the game and many sources claim the game was released in 1980, other sources claim the game was released in June or July 1981. Whatever the official release date, the game proved to be popular. And that is the background for Centipede. With that now told, it's time to play the game for ourselves. And here we are in the game. This is Centipede. As you can see, the pastel colors are quite bright. I don't know if I necessarily would have chosen these to be the color of the first level. I think that there are better color combinations later on in the game. That's kind of how you know what level you're on, is the color combination. We can also see that the copyright date is 1980. I tend to believe, or at least it is my opinion, that the game probably came out in June 1981, but I could be wrong and it could have come out in 1980. We talked about that a little bit before. Even the sources that I was using have gone back and forth. I found a few sources with both listed, as if they didn't even notice. But we're going to get into the game. As you can see, it is kind of frantic here, and it's going to be pretty fast-paced. I don't have the trackball, but I do have a good amount of speed. I'm not going to be needing a lot of speed. Oh, look, those colors are nicer, if you ask me. Okay, that's enough talking. Let's see what I can do. I hope to make the high score list, but I'm not entirely sure I'll be able to do that because things kind of move very quickly. And it starts kind of randomly. I try my best to clear a path for me to shoot. That's kind of my first thing. And then I do try to get kind of a tunnel. That's always been my strategy, to try to kill these guys as fast as possible. If they make it to the bottom, just kind of go up and eventually... No! I didn't mean to go up that high. Go up and eventually you Why am I not shooting faster? That's as fast as I can shoot. I'm hitting the button way faster than that. It looks like the demo was shooting faster than that, but this is as fast as I'm going to be able to go. This is not a good run so far, but we will see what I can do. Yeah, the trackball gives you a lot of control, but I just don't have those. So that was not a good run. I've done much better before. Let's see what I can do. Like I said, it kind of starts off random, and I end up just kind of shooting a whole bunch of mushrooms to start, just to try to get a shot at the centipede. I wouldn't say that the game is necessarily difficult, but there we go. At least we made it to level 2. I wouldn't say the game is difficult, but it definitely takes a bit of practice, and there's a lot of randomness to it, so just because you have a bad start doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad player. Notice that the last one does move a little bit faster. Those are those fleas. We have the spider just constantly bothering me. Notice that I am starting to kind of get a string together. Oh, that is moving so fast. I haven't had any poisonous mushrooms yet, but... Oh! Too far over. You do get bonus points for destroying mushrooms. At least partially. Okay. I thought that's what you did. I believe if I understand correctly, it is 10 points for destroying a segment and 100 points for destroying a head. So you kind of want to aim for the head if you're going for the points. I'm kind of going for survival, so I just kind of shoot and hope that something lands. Alright, so things are going quickly. They're letting me shoot more often, it feels like, but I think I'm just allowed one shot on the screen at a time. And of course the heads are popping off. Yeah, you'll just get random heads popping around the corner. Not ideal. No! I wanted to go higher, but they wouldn't let me. Alright, so that was a decent run. Like I said, I'm kind of aiming for that high score. Don't know if I'm going to get it. It's difficult because I don't necessarily have a good strategy for this. Like I said, you're going to want to create the mushrooms and destroy the mushrooms in a kind of pattern. I've always found that my favorite is to try to make the tunnel. I haven't been able to make a good one here. Oh, well, there we go. There. Just try to take that last one slowly. If he's all the way at the bottom, that's alright. Come on. Need to aim better too, but never quite figured out the timing on the shot. Oh, so close. There we go. Alright, next level. We're doing pretty well this time. Now that I've said that, I will die immediately. These things are moving very quickly. Come on. There we go. Oh no. Yeah, when they hit the poisonous mushroom and just kind of shoot down at you, it's very dangerous very quickly. Wasn't too much I was going to be able to do about that spider coming my way. It comes diagonally from the bottom. They do have a bit of a random movement to them. There's a lot of randomness in this game. There we go. Alright, I got 12,000, which gives me another life, another bug blaster here. And I will probably need it. I think that means I made the high score list, so this is a successful run for me. Once I get the timing on this, you guys are screwed. There we go. No! I was doing well. Almost up to 15,000. Problem is when they split and they kind of go, really? Just dive bombed at me. All right. Which way are we going? This way? I'm not... there. Jeez. That took way too long to figure out. I was holding left and it was going the other way. Yeah, this is awkward. All right. There we go. Third. I made third. Those are my actual initials. I actually tried. Okay. And then I got one more left in me. I'm not sure I'm going to do as well as that time, but I'll see what I can do. Yeah, I can definitely only have one shot on the screen at a time. Probably due to the hardware limitations and stuff like that. And when they start getting towards the bottom, it's easier to shoot them because you can just shoot a lot more. Honestly, I would prefer to have 3 shots on the screen. Honestly, I would prefer to have unlimited shots. Every time I press the button, shoot it, no matter how many are on the screen. But we're not at that point yet. I can have 1 shot. That's what they give me. And like I said, the timing is hard. I should let the spider live a little bit longer because he does remove the mushrooms for me, but... Alright. Got a couple fleas and then the dive bomber comes. Because you have really just straight away, I didn't even see him. I was paying attention to the centipede. Oh, that's what I used to do. Now I'm remembering a little bit better. Maybe I'll try that strategy again. It's been a while since I've used that, but basically I tried to... This is what I used to do as a kid. I used to hang out on the corner and try to get them trapped into the corner. To be honest, I was never the best in my family at this game. This was one that was popular amongst the family when I was a kid. And I was not the good one. I did alright for myself, but I didn't do that great. Alright, that was a decent score, but I'm gonna try the strategy that I was talking about before. Just kind of hanging out in the corner if the centipede ever wants to come back this way. Problem is if it doesn't want to go to the corner. Okay. Hang out in the corner. It just doesn't want to go. Alright, this is working out better. Remembering the strategy. And if you can get it set up right, like they will stay in the corner and you can just kind of pick them off by standing still. How did I not shoot? How did I not shoot? The problem is, like, once again, it doesn't want to go there. Oh. Alright, come on, this corner. Maybe I should go for the other corner. It's open. Hate those spiders. There we go. That's a much nicer tunnel. If I can get them in the corner, I can shoot a ton of them. But now they don't want in. My whole tunnel went to waste. All right, so that was, see now it's working nicely in the tunnel there. I feel like they sped this up in the demo. But that is Centipede. As you can see, I'm not necessarily the best at this game. Like I said, it was popular amongst my family, and I was never particularly the best at it. I just never really saw the strategy. I want to get that tunnel, but I couldn't quite set it up the way that I wanted. But that is Centipede. And with that now played, it's time to talk about how the game holds up today. Playing the game today, I do have to say it is fun. I had fun playing the game. With that said, I think it's primarily due to the gameplay, because there is a strategy involved in the game, and as you could clearly see, I'm not necessarily skilled enough to kind of get into the depth of the strategy. I couldn't even implement the strategies that I really wanted to do myself. So if there are deeper strategies, I'm not at the skill set to be able to do that in this game. This would probably be the shooter that we have played with the most strategy involved in it. I would say it's even more than Space Invader. And I would say that of the shooters that we played, Space Invader probably still had the most strategy to it, because you had the cover that didn't exist in a lot of other games. Centipede allows you to create the field of not only your cover, but to influence where the enemies go and when they come at you and how quickly they come at you. And we haven't seen that in any of the other shooters that we've played. So the gameplay, I have to say, is the standout of this game, playing it from a modern perspective. With that said, the graphics, I don't think, hold up very well. The fact that there is a black background with nothing in it, no stars or anything, you're just staring at a black background with pastel colors of mushrooms and then the enemies and you. I don't think that the pastel colors are a huge selling point for me personally, so maybe I'm a little bit more negative on the graphics than other people are, but I don't think that the graphics hold up well, and I don't think that the graphics, the colors at least, are visually appealing enough to get me to stop whatever game I'm playing to go play Centipede. The sound also was a little strange for me. It doesn't feel, well, it doesn't sound like I'm shooting. So when I shoot, it sounds, I don't know, more like a squish. It didn't sound like a laser. It didn't sound like a gun. It sounded like something being squeezed. And I'm not sure that was on purpose, but it might have been because it was supposed to be different than other shooters. It was supposed to appeal to a broader audience, and maybe they felt that a gun or a laser would not appeal to people that were not typically your shooter players. So between the two of those, I feel that the game doesn't hold up very well, but the gameplay itself is still fun for me, and I could see myself coming back to that. I would say the replayability for it for me personally is low, simply because it's not necessarily a game that comes to mind when I think of classic arcade games, but it probably should. And for a lot of people, the replayability for this game is high. And I will say that if I did see Centipede in the arcades, I would drop a quarter in and play it at least once to see what would happen. So it's kind of a mixed bag for me. It's not something that comes to my mind out of nowhere, but if it's there, I will play it. And that is at least my modern take on the game. At the time, Centipede not only proved to be popular, Centipede became one of the best-selling arcade games at the time, selling over 55,000 cabinets. That would make Centipede Atari's second best-selling arcade game, behind only Asteroids. The game, as designed, proved to be popular not only among men, but women as well. Looking ahead, the game would spawn a sequel, clones, ports, remakes, and even a Milton Bradley board game in 1983. We will keep an eye on the influence of Centipede as we continue. With another hit on their hands, Atari would continue to be a dominant force in the video game industry. We will, of course, keep an eye on Atari as we continue. As for Ed Logg, who is now responsible for the 2 best-selling Atari arcade games, we will hear from him again in the future. Donna Bailey, on the other hand, would leave Atari in 1982, and would leave the video game industry entirely in 1985. We will most likely not hear from Donna Bailey again. That will do it for the story of Centipede for now. My name is Baller Scuba. This has been Video Games Over Time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video where we'll take on a new role.